the grain to the barn.
You're welcome.
Well, good morning, folks. Welcome back to the farm. It's a beautiful morning this morning. As you've seen there, just had the girls haul my grain for me, so I didn't have to pack it like a peasant. That little electric buggy's quite the thing, I tell you. They just love it. Anyways, yeah, I got a tub of molasses out here. Gonna chuck some grain at it, and then the sheep can lick it up. A little bit of extra feed supplement for them, because things are looking pretty sparse out here. If I show you this field, you'll see. I mean, there's a touch of green. There's a touch of green, but there's not a lot of actual eating stuff out there. So we're still feeding hay. Where's the feeder at? The feeder's right there. And then I got free choice molasses just in the tub that I always throw grain in, and then they got free choice molasses in the lick tank over there as well. Today, of course, is Mother's Day, so we got up early, made some bacon, some eggs, a little bit of beans, and good cup of coffee, and had a nice little family breakfast out on the deck in the sunshine. I don't know what the temperature is right now, but it's hot, and it's t-shirt weather, and it's, I think we're about 9 o'clock in the morning here, so today is going to be a scorcher. Well, if you watch for any length of time, you know I'm all about not taking shortcuts, but taking the least amount of steps that you possibly have to take. And earlier, actually just at the beginning of fall, winter-ish, I picked up this tote of molasses, and it was right full, right? 1,000 liters of molasses, or 950 something. Anyways, it was a lot of weight there. And as soon as I pulled into the driveway, I parked it over there. It's kind of where the camper is, actually. And because we had sheep in behind the shop all winter. Now, when it comes into lambing season, I move them all to this side of the yard, on the other side of the barn, and then after they lamb, they get tossed behind here. And so what I found is that when we come into lambing season, they still need a pile of molasses, right? So what I ended up doing was either carrying buckets or filling buckets and putting them in the side-by-side, and then getting them all the way over to here. So either I'm putting in this, or I'm putting, gas in the tank or something. For what, right? For what? So finally, I summed up the courage, and I just hauled the trailer over here, right beside the barn. I can get my bucket, I can fill it up, and within 10 steps, I'm at the lick tank, and then I don't have to waste gas or waste energy or anything like that. So with the molasses all moved up there beside the barn, the wife very quickly reminded me it was Mother's Day, which was her day. So I got to reprioritize my day a little bit. But yeah, we're getting started on the kitchen garden there. So looking at adding some compost, homegrown compost to the beds. And we're thinking what we might grow in there. I think there's actually going to be some carrots that are going to grow in there, just because it's nice and deep. And there's a little bit, we bought some topsoil actually from a couple of places. One was from Deep Basin Contracting right out of here at Beaver Lodge. Another one was from Cack Stone in Grand Prairie. And both of those were absolute, terrible, sorry excuses for topsoil. And given any amount of time, it just turns into pretty much concrete. So now that's in there, and I don't really feel like digging it out, because we put like a lasagna thing in the bottom, right? So we got logs and leaves and straw and manure and all kinds of stuff underneath that. So we're just going to mix in some compost here and see if that makes a difference. But the other thing I got to do, and it won't be today, but is definitely figure out something to keep the chickens out of there. Because when we had romaine lettuce and spinach and all kinds of stuff in there, that was just, oh man, that was like a free ice cream bar for the chickens. So can't have that this year. So I might have to put some type of mesh around it, or some type of enclosure anyways, to keep the chickens in, or chickens out, I should say. Anyways, I'm going to haul this thing here in the back. I've got a set of diamond harrows, and I'm actually going to drag that through the garden. We got some unlevel spots there a little bit, and then the harrows too. The teeth is just going to help me get a little bit of good spacing for when I, straight lines and spacing for when I go in through with the cedar. We're going to pick the cedar up from the in-laws place today, so hopefully tomorrow we'll have some seed in the ground, more than just potatoes. This is the spot here where, if you go back there, you can see it's a little bit unleavened. I've even got some tire tracks through there. But yeah, I'm gonna run the harrows through, just clean up a little bit. And then this one row that I built last night, I don't know if you can kind of see it, That's where we're gonna plant, I think, beetroot. So I'm actually gonna run the harrows just over top of that, just to help kind of level it a little bit, because the dirt is just kind of wherever I put it with the shovel, so not super tidy by any means. Well, I got all my harrowing done in the garden, and then the wife told me I have about an hour to work on personal projects. So what I'm actually going to do here is I'm going to get the walls off of Cousin Eddie's house. I've already got it off on this side. It's kind of windy over here, but you can see I'm just stripping the OSB off, and then I can undo the screws that are pinning these walls in place, and I'm just going to take the whole structure, hopefully I'll take the whole structure and just fold it back and off, and then I can plunk my 1 cube tote right in the middle there, and then it'll be triple happy teddy bears. Have lots of water, lots of mobile water on hand. That's the biggest thing for me. It's got to be mobile, right? Got to be able to move it. It's great to have all these tanks and pumps and hoses and all this equipment and infrastructure, but if I can't get it from one place to the other, it's not much use to me. Well, you know, I got just about as many screws out as I possibly can there, but there's always a couple that kind of hang on, or they freewheel or something like that. You just can't, no matter how much you try, you just can't get them out. So some days there's no substitute for brute force and ignorance, and that's what we're gonna go to with. I can't get a recip saw in there, so we're just gonna beat it off. You know, I didn't mean to say that. I'm not gonna beat anybody off, but I'm gonna beat it off. Fuck you. There you have it. I'm the proud owner of a new flat deck trailer, and not to be outdone, and a giant beehive. We're gonna take care of that before anybody moves back in this summer. I don't know if bees do that. Do they move back into old beehives? I don't know. I care not to find out. There she be. I still got to strip that 2x4 off on the sides and lay a couple of 2x6s across, so that because it's just a sheet of plywood there. There's a brace at the front of the axle. There's a brace kind of right here, but I'd like another one kind of right in here to take the weight of that. You know, it's going to have 1,000 liters, right? So it's 1,000 kilograms. That's not light by any means. So I certainly don't want the bottom to drop out of that piece of plywood and say see you later to 1,000 liters of water. That would be a hell of a mess to clean up. But anyways, at least she's stripped down. I'm making progress on this project that I procrastinated on now for, well, just about a couple of years.